Welcome to episode 39 of A Fighting Chance. I'm Jared, and of course we've got Salvador Garcia. What's going on, man? What's up?
What's up, man?
That's so attractive. I love that.
What's up?
You really, you really go for it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just, I'm a people person, you know?
Why not? How's your day? How's your day?
My day's been pretty good, you know? It's been a nice day. It's been a nice Monday.
Is it raining there?
Yes, it is pouring. It just started pouring.
Dude, it just started pouring here, and we're like hundreds of miles away from each other.
Look at that. Synchronized.
Wow. It really shows that, there's we're living in the Truman Show, and there really isn't that much space in between us. They say we're 300 miles apart, but we're really more like 6.
Yeah. It's all a simulation. Everything's a lie. And yeah.
Do you ever notice like coincidences that just pop up in your life, and if you think about them too long, you'll go nuts?
Yeah, all the time.
Do you really?
All the time, especially when I have like deja vu about stuff. Like I've lived this exact same thing.
So you do feel that way
all the time, yeah.
And do you try not to dwell on it for too long? No,
because I'll go insane.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you say this, because earlier today I had a moment, and I have these moments often, but when I start to really think about them, I start to realize that there's a lot of people out there who like we would view as like, oh, they're crazy, they're in like a loony bin, like they've lost their minds. But I guarantee you they've just been in the same position as you and I, who are like recognizing a coincidence, and they're like, this can't be, oh my God, nothing is real. And then they just keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
And they don't stop.
Switch.
I know. But I really think it's like what makes people crack. And I really believe it's like recognizing that how small life is, how connected we all are, like how like the universe is constantly showing us signs, and then you just don't ever stop thinking about those things.
Yeah. And especially if you don't have people to like kind of bring you back or snap you back down, then you can you go on forever. Like it never.
Yeah, and then the next thing is like, oh well, they're trying to convince me to come back because they're all out to get me, and then that's when you're lost, and then you're never coming back.
And then you bring a Bible into the octagon and yell, "Freedom!"
What an amazing segue,
dude! That might be my favorite UFC video ever. I think.
Hey, brother, I just want you to pray with me, brother, right now.
Oh. Bisping just said nah, which I think was even more. No, he was like nah.
Dude, there's a video of Dan Ige saying no thank you.
Yeah, that's what it is, because he said like, can you please let Dan Ige pray? And Bisping's like, nah. And at the same time, Dan's like, no thank you, no thank you.
But then he still like has to get down and do it like off camera.
Yeah. Bryce is a wild dude. Bryce is Did you see his
video to Sean O'Malley?
No,
which one?
I haven't seen that.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say he went on Believe You and Me with Michael Bisping.
There's like, yeah, but dude, what's crazy is like that is even titled like Bryce talks about flat Earth for like 52 minutes, which is that's so crazy, because like I think that like almost gets you demonetized to even put that in your title.
Really,
dude? I believe I have a strike based off of a flat Earth video on my video.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess Mike Bisping doesn't really care. You know, he's making his money.
For sure. But
yeah, I only listened to the first maybe 20 minutes, and it's only them talking about cattle. And like he's talking about the pesticides in food, and he's very passionate about it.
Hey man, you got to know where you're getting your meat, brother.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, you know that you can't buy raw milk. You cannot buy raw milk. This is all like he's in a car, so the internet's all shitty. Dude, it's fun.
I do want to check that out. I've actually currently been checking out Chito with Bradley Martyn.
Okay, yeah, I saw a few clips.
That's all I do is clips. I'm like, oh, a clip about him talking about DMT. Oh, clip about him talking about, you know, fighters and PEDs. Oh, clip about, and then eventually you're like, I've watched the whole episode.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna sound pretty funny coming from someone who's on a podcast currently, but like sometimes there's a lot of filler on a podcast, and the clips kind of, especially with like Bradley Martyn, who is not talking about much of anything.
Dude, if we are doing an hour and 15-minute episode, which usually these aren't even that, I would say 55 minutes of it is filler.
Yeah, or saying So yeah, I mean, that's a lot of it, you know.
Hey,
Great.
At least we're not Izzy going, yeah.
Dude, did you see that he got
the DUI?
DUI? Yeah.
Dude, why is it called drink driving in New Zealand? Driving? No, it's called drink driving. Dude, it's literally called drink driving in New Zealand. I gotta look this up. Look, it's crazy.
They're so it's different.
It makes me feel. Yeah, it makes me feel like something's off there.
Well, the report is.
It's literally it says drink driving.
Yeah, Adesanya, 34, was charged with driving a car on Wesley Street in Auckland with 87 milligrams of alcohol.
It's
Legal
not a
limit
lot.
is 50.
It's different though. Like if that was in America, it really wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, and I've seen also some things that were like, they're saying that there's different reports on how much the legal limit is. So like he wasn't that off, and so different narratives always.
Yeah, but, I mean, at the end of the day, like, was he doing anything that wrong? I mean, sure, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be drunk driving. I'm never gonna do it. You don't have to ever worry about this. But it's more the question of like 2 weeks before the fight, how into training was he? But
that's more concerning that he was drinking and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can go out and have a few drinks, I'm sure, at a nice dinner, and I think at the end of camp, like it's probably nice if you don't have to worry about like an intense weight cut, like maybe to go out for have a nice steak from Bryce Mitchell's farm and have a nice whiskey on the rocks or something. Like I'm sure that's pretty standard for a lot of fighters. Like
I know Ilia Topuria drinks weight while he's weight cutting, like he drinks a day or two out. Yeah, he drinks wine. Sorry.
Ooh.
And he said it helps him cut weight, I guess, because it's a dehydrator.
Dude, it does. That is a fact. Like, bodybuilders forever. Like, I've heard of people like drinking vodka in their coffee while like taking baths, like hot baths, like because it makes you, like, I think it like brings out your vascularity or something stupid. But I don't know. It's at the end of the day, Sean Strickland beat the shit out of him, so who really cares?
I mean, I almost feel a little sad, like. This guy was, on top of the world now. Like all this shit is happening to him. It's kind of like, damn, dude, life comes at you fast.
I've got to tell you this. Okay, so I was thinking about. I have a little golden doodle named Artie.
What is that? Oh, your dog.
A dog. Yeah, my dog his name's Artie. And I told David I was going to do this whole podcast holding Artie. And David's like, yeah, maybe it could, bring you guys some more numbers. Like everybody likes looking at a dog.
Yeah.
And I go, dude, the problem with me doing that is I'm crazy. And I'll be like, hey, so Sal, so is this how Izzy touched his dog? And I'll be like, I'm blind, so I never got to see the video. So could you tell me is this how he did it?
Real time.
So that's why I chose not to do it, just to let you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're not missing out. As someone who has seen the video, it's not great. So
don't worry. I've had people watch it for me.
Yeah, you're not missing out.
But so did you get to watch any of the fights this weekend? It sounded like you weren't.
I got to watch the Fiziev Gamrot fight.
Ouch.
I didn't get to watch the Bryce fight. I thought Fiziev looked pretty good. First round, he was stuffing a lot. Gamrot also looked good. Like he was doing what he usually does. Yeah. But super unfortunate that it ended early.
Yeah, man, that was rough. That was really rough.
It was. Especially how it wasn't a contact injury, really. It was just like he torqued so much on the kick that it just freaking snapped.
And Gamrot took all the credit too. He was like, "Yeah, we trained for blocks." He's like, "We trained to block his kicks," and it's like, "Yeah, he did block his kick with his elbow, but it wasn't a foot injury." No.
On the broadcast, that's what they said at first. They're like, "Oh, he broke his foot." Right. And then they replay it and they're like, "No, that's his left knee."
Yeah.
But pretty brutal. I know there was a few brutal fights. Specifically the Michelle Watterson fight.
You had her winning, I believe.
Did I actually? I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure I said some not the nicest things about her, and you were like, "What do you have against her, dude? She's gonna kick
no.
Rodriguez's ass."
I said you have something against her, but I never said she's gonna win. I never placed my picks. Yeah. But that was sure. I did replay that fight, and that was really brutal. Like she was crying in the octagon after it. It was
dude, her kid was there crying too.
Yeah, that one made me a little uncomfortable.
Why does that always happen?
the kid goes and they get demolished.
Yes.
Maybe
Always.
karma. Like, don't bring your kid to.
This is not bring your kid to work day.
No. Yeah, I mean, even if you're like, top of the world, you're the highest of levels, I still wouldn't even bring my kids around unless they're way older and whatever. But like,
yeah,
you got little kids.
Well, what is the age in your mind? For
maybe
both
like
genders.
15. 15, you're like a little more.
Yeah,
you can understand that it's a sport. This is what they do, and like you have a little more grasp on your emotions. But even then, it's still like it's still rough to go see your parent get destroyed.
15 would suck to see your mom or dad get knocked out.
Yeah, I think any age sucks to see your mom and dad get. It's just how like able you're. Wow, I'm struggling here. How much you're able to deal with that,
right?
Emotionally,
right. So maybe. The thing is, we're not fighters, so we're not fighters with kids. Maybe their kids are just, ready for that. Maybe
like we had Damon on, and I know he said he brings them, but all his kids wrestle and stuff, so they're in that world, so they understand it a little different.
Dude, but there is such a difference in seeing your dad wrestle and seeing Dan Ige knock your dad out.
No, I just mean like they understand that this stuff is tough. Like when you wrestle, you feel how like this is a brutal thing, and I can see how it could get more brutal. For sure.
Did you ever see your dad fight?
Yeah, I watched him spar a few times.
How's that?
It's pretty awesome. He whoops some ass.
Nice. But how would it have felt if you saw him getting his ass whooped?
It'd be pretty weird, but I never saw that. Thankfully,
that's good. That's good. You saw some of those nasty kicks.
He would just like shell up and go Mike Tyson in the pocket and rip the body.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
But,
nice. Well, dude, there's been a lot of fights made, which is really exciting.
There has.
A lot of big fights that I think we need to discuss.
We do. And I think at the top of everyone's mind, at least right now, is Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett.
I'm so happy you said that first, because that's the one that's on my mind.
Because Jiri and all that stuff came out last week, and then the hype. There's hype, but it dies down. But everyone seems pretty shocked at this matchup. What do you think?
Okay, dude. I think
break it down.
I think based off of Paddy's last performance, and based off of who Paddy's fought, and who Tony Ferguson is, and who Tony Ferguson has fought, I think that everybody's thinking this is like a setup that to give Paddy a layup and give him a really, really big name fighter. And right. I think that this has a lot of potential to age poorly, what I'm about to say. But Tony Ferguson as a plus 300 against Paddy, to me, is a no-brainer. I think that this 6-fight win streak for Paddy, 6-fight lose streak for Tony. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. And I'm going Tony Ferguson. I know, dude. I know. And it's not going to age well, but I'm fine with that. Because I like that take. Don't like Paddy. And I love Tony.
I like that take. And I think if you look at Tony's this 6-fight streak that he's on, the only really decisive, definitive losses that he's taken are against the highest level possible in probably the most dangerous division in the sport.
For sure.
Other than heavyweight.
For sure.
Look at Charles Oliveira, who's champion of the world, defended the belt multiple times. Get Justin Gaethje, another world champion.
Yeah.
He's just fought killers and killers. And then as he's gone into these lower levels, you see the fights are very competitive.
Very competitive.
Last fight, I thought he was going to win. He looked really great. Had an unfortunate eye poke that killed the momentum. He got subbed at the very last second possible. It's shit happens. It's a fight.
Dude, but against Chandler, he was looking good.
Yeah, dude, he dropped Chandler in the first round, immediately.
Right.
So, same with Bobby. He also dropped Bobby Green. He dropped Justin Gaethje. I think his power is still there. His grappling is still there. Even his chin, he hasn't been knocked out other than the Chandler fight. You know what I mean? It's just, I think he's not as fast. Is really what kind of has slowed his game.
But if Paddy leaves his chin open, he probably still will, he could get caught.
And we've seen Paddy get caught a lot, and he hasn't been hit that hard. You know what I mean?
No.
Big shots that if Tony is able to capitalize, maybe take him down, sink in a submission, Very possible that he could finish Paddy Pimblett, not even just a decision win or anything.
Oh yeah, I don't think it'll be a decision. I think Tony's going to finish Paddy. I think that this is going to be like a old school Tony performance. I don't think the odds should be what they are, is what I believe. And so for me, it's like, okay, cool. Tony plus 300, like cool. Sprinkle some money on that versus taking Paddy at whatever he is. Cause like Paddy hasn't done anything to prove that, like, he's just a hyped up, like, you know, it's the party. It's the, oh, Paddy, the bad.
He's
like,
a personality.
Yeah. But so is Tony. And
he's not the worst fighter. Like he's got 20 wins, only 3 losses. Like he is not like people talk about him like he's bottom of the barrel of the UFC. I don't think he is that. I think he has potential to be in the top 15. I think he's still young. He's still pretty chinny, you know, like he leaves his chin out there. There's little things that he hasn't really put together yet. But yeah, I feel like this is a very winnable fight. Not to discredit what Paddy does, just based off of the skill set of Tony Ferguson.
For sure. And I know like most people think Paddy's going to submit Tony and that's how it's going to end up. But like, you know what? That's fine. Because Tony is our champion.
He's a people champ.
He is. And we are the people.
Dude, I haven't seen Tony Ferguson win a fight since... I guess you can't even count the Cowboy fight because that was like a doctor stoppage. So that this last technical win, I think, is like Anthony Pettis in 2019.
But you're not you can't tell me that you don't believe that there's one more win in there for Tony.
No, I'm saying I think he can 100% win this fight or another fight after this if he keeps going. I'm just saying it's been so long, like it's gonna feel amazing.
I believe there's a better chance of Tony Ferguson beating Paddy than Tony Ferguson beating Jim Miller.
Jim Miller is a bad dude. Still,
I think so too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Very high level. You know, honestly, they could have made that fight. They could have made Paddy and Jim Miller.
No, I think that Tony versus Jim Miller on UFC 300 is a lock fight.
I think they're doing Paul Felder, which another thing we haven't talked about. I don't think Paul Felder is coming back. Like,
is he really? I've heard
he's in the USADA testing pool. He made an announcement and everything. He's coming back, and it's looking like 300 with Jim Miller. Yep.
That's a good fight.
That is a good fight. And I think he can come back. He stayed in great shape. His last fight was, I think, was it Dan Hooker?
No, RDA.
With RDA. It was competitive, like, you know, RDA.
It was also like it was short notice too.
Yeah, and it was COVID. Like, that's a rough, you know, he cut a lot of weight. I think he was emotional. You know, he realized that there's other stuff out there for him.
Like triathlons.
Yeah. Which is another reason he said he hurt his hip or something like that. And he was like, damn, I can't run anymore. And then he went back to fighting. He's like, I like this a little more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, who do you have with that in that fight if that actually gets made?
I mean, it depends how Paul looks. Like, if he comes back and he looks anything like how he looked last time he fought, I'm going with him. But you can never count out Jim Miller, you know. I
know. He's so awesome. He's a great fighter.
Winningest fighter in UFC history.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's my take on Tony. That's where I
like
stand.
that take. I like that you still have the faith, you know?
I do, man. I really do. I have the faith until he stops fighting.
Yeah. Which I'm also hoping is soon. If he wins this, I hope he just like he calls it, because it's hurting.
Yeah, I mean, the people who are smarter than me say it's hurting, so I have to believe them, like you.
So, other fight announcements.
Yeah,
a guy that we've talked about a lot on this channel, Garry, is going against his teammate Vicente Luque.
Not one that we thought was going to happen.
No, not at all. And this also ties into another matchup that was announced with Shavkat and Wonderboy.
Yes.
I honestly thought it was going to be Garry and Wonderboy. I thought that was a fight.
Yeah, that's what Ian wanted.
Yeah.
Wonderboy wanted Kamaru, and he got Shavkat.
What do you think about that? Because I have my opinion.
I wish he was getting Kamaru. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that. I guess. What do you give Kamaru Bilal Muhammad?
I think so. I think that's the fight. Especially they just announced a Colby. You could honestly throw Kamaru Bilal in the same card. They still 296 is not fully announced yet. Throw that on there. You know, on the same card. If Belal makes a statement, like, what are you going to do other than give him a shot?
You have to. I agree. I agree that you have to. But I think that. Okay, so how do you feel about the Wonderboy versus Shavkat?
Controversial here. Controversial. But I like the Shavkat matchup with Wonderboy. I like it for Wonderboy. Just only because I was watching this Jeff Neal fight.
Yeah.
And Shavkat gets hit. And he gets hit a lot. And that was from someone a lot smaller who fights only in the boxing range. You know, like Jeff Neal has to get hit to hit you kind of thing. I think Wonderboy has looked pretty great his last 2 fights. Unless Shavkat comes out and straight wrestles him the whole time, you know, obviously then that's the deal. But I think Wonderboy has a real possible chance to beat Shavkat on the feet. I think he hits hard enough. I think he's aggressive enough. I think he comes at people weird enough. You know, his style is very, very unorthodox. I don't know. I like the matchup.
I like it too. I'm just concerned that, I mean, I believe that Shavkat fought emotional against Jeff Neal. And I think if he does what Shavkat's great at, I think it's a really hard night for Wonderboy. I mean, his record means a lot. What is it? Is it 17 finishes?
Yeah. 17
and 0, 17 finishes. I mean, that you can't deny that.
I mean, if anything, it's going to be a brutal fight, I think.
Right. And I don't want brutal for Wonderboy. I love Wonderboy so much that I want fun fights. I don't want brutal. But at the same time, if he believes that he can be the best in the world, he's got to fight the best in the world. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's a real G move from Wonderboy. Like, all right, if you guys don't want to give me the top, then I'll beat your guy. You know,
for sure. So what do you say? He beats Shavkat and then title fight, or beats Shavkat and then he's got to fight Belal or Kamaru? I mean, there's still 2 more fights, but at the same time, I think if you beat the 17-0, 17 finisher guy, you get a title fight.
Much more impressive, especially they know he's on a time crunch. Like, you know, he's 40 already.
Yeah, I mean,
I think you fast track him. I think Leon versus Wonderboy is a fight that everybody would want to see, just stylistically.
100%. 100%.
And just to see him get the chance, like, you know, I'm a Leon fan, but I kind of be rooting for Wonderboy a little bit. Like, how insane would it be if he pulls this off?
I would definitely be rooting for Wonderboy.
So yeah, I mean, I think he can win the fight. I like the matchup. I have a ton of respect for him for taking the matchup. And we'll see what happens. I don't know. You know, it's a crazy one.
Dude, the problem would be if it was Colby against Wonderboy. I don't know who I'd be rooting for.
Really?
Dude, I'm serious. Colby makes me laugh. I can't help it.
I mean, he makes me laugh too, but I wouldn't root for him over Wonderboy.
No, dude, I'm just joking. I wouldn't be rooting for him over Wonderboy. But at the same time, when Colby's doing an interview, he was just doing one with James Lynch like last week when he took the fight.
Oh, I saw that.
Or when the fight got announced.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's like, so is it safe to say that the reason why you're not on the John Jones card is because they're afraid of like the things that you would say? And he's like, James, I'm just saying, like, was he on Epstein Island? I don't know if he was or wasn't, but nobody's proven that he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And just like, dude, it just makes me laugh. It
He's
makes
crazy,
me smile.
dude. He's crazy.
For sure. But the shtick, like the fact that he does not let up on it. It's beautiful to me.
And I think what makes that interview even funnier is that like Colby has been radio silent for at least over a year now, and then he comes back and that's the first thing he drops.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. Oh, did you hear him talking about Leon with gerbils?
No.
Dude, there's a clip.
I heard his impression of him.
No, dude, there's a clip where he's like, James, we need to do some actual research. He's like, do some reporting. What's up with Leon with these gerbils? And James like goes back to it and he's like, well, what's actually going on with Leon and gerbils? He goes, do your own Googling, man. I don't know. I can't bring it up, but it's just crazy.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, I couldn't find anything.
Oh, let me see.
I literally couldn't find a thing. But yeah, I mean, it was quite the call out.
Leon,
it's like you want a shit talk with saying that somebody has some skeletons in their closet with gerbils. I like it.
I mean, maybe he's just trying to play off of the whole Izzy with the dog thing.
No, I know, but that's what it felt like. But it's just like there's.
Which he also said he doesn't like Sean Strickland, which I thought was interesting.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Colby likes anybody.
No, I mean he really likes Zhang Weili. They're buddies.
He likes the people that train at MMA Masters too.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another fight that got announced. Leon and Colby Covington.
Who do you have in that fight?
Leon Edwards. I think Leon Edwards, and I think pretty decisively, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Do you think he'll get him out of there?
I don't know if he'll get him out of there. You know, Leon is not like notoriously a finisher.
Yeah.
But I know he likes to put on performances that are like, okay, there's, you know, this is clear. He leaves them in the dust.
Yeah.
I think
the last 5 seconds of a fight.
I think his defensive wrestling looked really great last fight against Usman.
Yeah.
I think what Colby does bring is the chain wrestling, which is a little different than Usman. Usman's very strong, so he'll get to the legs, get one takedown, kind of lay. But Colby will take you down and then take you down and then take you down and take you down and take you down and throw a lot of punches. Like his activity is ridiculous.
Right.
But I trust in Leon's, you know, championship skills and range management, all that stuff. I think this is a nice little fight for him.
I hope so. I hope it's a good fight regardless. It's a good card. I mean, it's shaping up. You got the last three are pretty awesome.
Also on that card,
Royval.
Yeah. I was just going to say, it is a very real possibility we go into the new year and Brandon Royval is the flyweight champion.
Would that make you happy? Would you like that?
I like Royval. I like Pantoja as well. I got like a soft spot for Pantoja, but yeah, the Brandon Royval is very legit. And they fought before, close fight. Yeah, I could definitely see him pulling that off.
I think he gets the craziest knockouts in that division for sure.
Yeah, the last one he had against Nicolau was insane. Like he threw up a lead knee when he was like completely out angled. He's very creative.
Yeah,
very creative.
And yeah, I think he'd be good for the division too, like as the face of the division.
Yeah, and spice it up too. Like, you know, it's been the same three guys kind of in the big fights at flyweight for a while now, and now you get this guy who's kind of fresh blood. He's young. I think he's only like 27.
And then you got Manel Cap coming right out of his tail.
Dude, honestly, I think if Brandon Royval wins, that's the fight. Forget Kai Kara.
I think so
just
too.
Give Manel the title shot.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, and then you do Brandon Moreno, Albazi. Figgy's out of the division.
Well, Kai's got to get a good fight. He still deserves a good fight.
But Kai's hurt right now, so like there's no rush to get him a fight. Is what I mean.
Who was Kai's last fight? It couldn't have been Moreno.
Albazi.
Okay, and he won that
fight. He lost.
He lost?
Technically, there's a lot of people that say he got robbed. I watched it. I was fine with the decision.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think there's a rush to get Kai back to a title shot. He's been given the opportunity already.
For sure. Yeah.
And if he really wanted to get his name right back into the mix, he would have, you know, not to say he didn't try to win that fight, but I'm just saying that would have helped a lot to get that Albazi fight. So I think you do Brandon and Albazi. Kai, I guess he'll be on the sideline for a little bit, but yeah, throw Manel in there. Throw him to the top.
And where's Makayev fit into this mix? He's coming. He's getting closer, you know?
He's getting close. I know he's fighting Tim Elliott, which is an interesting test for everybody.
It always is.
Tim Elliott gave Mighty Mouse at his prime like some pretty decent problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, like who knows how that goes. I think if Makayev wins, you do maybe him and Nicolau, even him and like a Kai Kara. You're looking for a matchup for him.
That's a good one. I like that.
But I think Makayev maybe two or three more before he gets to the belt.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Young guy.
Yeah. There's also this Steve Erceg guy who
he's good. He's good.
Very good. He's very good, and he's fighting, I think, Matt Schnell. next.
Dude, that's going to be a crazy fight. There's no way that's not going to be a crazy fight because Matt Schnell brings it for sure, and that Steve Arcek guy he brought it as well.
And then imagine now you got a situation where Steve Arcek is now in the top 10, and really like if you want to give him one more top 5 fight, this dude could be in title talks in 3 fights.
Wow.
So that's a big fight. I think people need to pay attention to that.
His last fight was his first fight in the UFC, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he beat David Dvorak.
That was a crazy fight too.
Who was like number 14 in the world. Yeah, those are my favorite fights when they get like some dude to come in and it's like, here's a top 15 fighter in the world. Go try.
I'm a big fan of betting on debut people.
Yeah, I mean if they're really good,
yeah,
the pressure is not a factor for them. Like if anything, it helps that the other fighter thinks like, oh, then they're making their debut, they're feeling the pressure. The pressure's on you to defend your spot.
It's just yeah, like you said, there's no pressure. It's crazy how heavy they are as an underdog, and also how many times they win.
Yeah. And people now coming into the UFC are like highest of levels, right, compared to back then.
Dude, I believe, and I watch every single card. I believe that in women's fights, when a woman is debuting, more times than even a man debuting, she wins. Yeah,
that's interesting. I want to look at like.
I'm telling you, I really believe that women debuting in the UFC generally win. Because often, think about it, they're trying to get more like high talent for women's fighters in there. So they're bringing in like these like a Muay Thai champion of this country. Like, and it's like often those people win.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like Manon Fiorot came in just like
or like
blazing early.
The woman who fought on the French card, like the first fight of the night. She was literally, I think she was the first fight of the night. She was like a plus 110 because she was a debut fighter, and it wasn't even close.
It was pretty close.
Nah, she won.
I don't think it was an super incredibly impressive performance, but
dude,
she got the win.
It was a beat down.
I mean, her striking definitely looked great.
Yeah,
grappling maybe needs some help.
I'm pretty sure it was unanimous. So
yes,
we'll call it a beat down.
But I mean, the championship fight for the division was a draw. So like, judges are crazy sometimes.
That's true.
I saw a few people saying that Dan Ige got robbed last weekend. With Bryce.
I thought it was a really close fight. Did you watch the fight?
I haven't watched the fight. I just saw a few of those takes that were like, oh, he didn't do nearly as much damage as Bryce did, and he won 1 and 2. I have to go back and watch it.
When it went to the judges, I think David and I were both saying, we're like, dude, Danny Ige totally could have won this fight.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, Danny Ige is legit. Like he hits like a freaking truck. For
there was
45er.
There was a lot of damage that Danny Ige was causing.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pretty sure going into the third round they were like even odds too.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Like it was. I mean, I'm sure those rounds could have been 1-1 or
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It was close.
There was only 130-27 card, right?
I think so. But what I was saying earlier, like when we started talking about Bryce's video, he had a whole business proposal for Sean O'Malley to go on his podcast and to sell him some like farmland.
What? In his post fight?
He put this video out today, on YouTube, and he wants to debate flat Earth with him on his podcast, and
with Sean O'Malley.
Yes, and he wants to teach him how to be a real farmer.
Interesting. How did this come up?
I don't. Oh, because I guess he owed him an apology because he said when he fought Jan, he was like, "There's no way that Sean can win this fight unless his YouTube following wins it for him." and he goes, "What's funny is that is actually how you won the fight, but I do apologize because you showed a lot of heart in that fight, and it was a much closer fight than I ever thought was possible." Even though your YouTube following did win you the fight. But I don't know. It was a fun video. He's a fun guy, dude. He's a fun guy.
He's nuts. He's super nuts. Yeah. That's for sure.
Nuts.
But that's what we love in MMA, right? Like, who likes boring guys?
I don't. I definitely. I don't watch this sport. Yeah, I don't watch this sport for anything less than a Sean Strickland personality or above.
Exactly. If you want somebody who's, by the book, go watch golf or some shit, but that is not MMA.
Wait, what are you talking about? Do you not remember when Tiger Woods had like 20 mistresses?
Yeah, but that's the exception. Dude, that's the one guy.
Those were the craziest times in sports. When those women went on Howard Stern and did the Howard Stern Tiger Woods beauty pageant. I don't know if you were listening back then.
No, I wasn't.
But they were, dude, it was the greatest.
I might have been like 4 years old or something.
Dude, it was on satellite. It was on Sirius Radio. And Howard Stern literally had all of the women or all of the ones that were willing to come into the studio. And they did a Tiger Woods beauty pageant of all of these girls that he slept with while he was married. And
do you remember how many people
came into the studio? Like probably like, I don't, maybe 10, maybe 8. I don't remember how many, but I just remember, their stories. Cause it'd be, I mean, they definitely came in looking good, but then they would also give these very detailed stories of them with Tiger Woods. And the more the more that, dude, first of all, these stories were nuts. Like Tiger was crazy, dude. He was like throwing like sex parties where he'd like sit at like almost like he was like a king in a throne, like watching like the whole party go. It was, dude, these stories made him seem awesome.
There is a Bleacher Report article. Tiger Woods scandal, ranking Tiger's round of mistresses, and there's 18 people here. Yeah,
dude. Jamie Juggers was one of the girls' names.
Jamie Juggers, right here. You remember?
Dude, this was an entertaining time in pop culture, man.
Dude, and they really ranked them. This is hilarious. They put number 1. Priyanka Chopra. That really?
What do you mean, really? I don't know who that is.
She's an actress. She's married to Nick Jonas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's a pretty big actress.
Hey. Nice. Hey, Priyanka. Nice.
Good job, Tiger.
Nice.
What a world.
Yeah. What a world. And on that note.
It's back to these fights,
Yeah. Were there any others?
Announcements?
I'm trying to think of any other fights. Did you listen to Francis Ngannou on Joe Rogan after I texted you?
Yeah, actually, I've been using it to go to sleep the last 3 or 4 nights, and it has worked like a charm. 10 minutes in, I'm like,
dude, I was howling. I was laughing so hard while listening to the first clip that I listened to, because there's a moment where Francis is talking for 4 minutes. Like, it's literally only him talking. And it's like, did Joe fall asleep? And I literally just lost it, because you've never heard Joe this silent. And I think he's just in his head thinking like, how can I make this interesting?
Yeah. I mean, he seems like a nice guy.
Dude, he does. And I like him. And it's a good podcast to fall asleep to. There's nothing wrong with that. So is a lot of stuff. So is Ariel Hawani's On the Nose segment. I mean, you just got to go.
Shots fired.
No, there's good things to sleep to. Sometimes you need things to power nap to. And
I listen
those
to Theo
are the things
Von
I
to go to
choose.
sleep.
Do you?
Yeah, the only reason sometimes it doesn't work is because he'll, just randomly throw in the craziest line you've ever heard, and then kind of wakes
and then
you
you
up
start
again.
laughing. Yeah. Did you listen to him with Bobby Lee?
Yeah, I'm like almost finished with it, but it was nice. So far it's been awesome.
I should check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
I should check that out.
I mean, there was some more fight announcements. One that I'm a little scared of as a fan of this guy is Khalil Rountree and Azamat Murzakanov. Azamat, I think, has been kind of forgotten at light heavyweight.
I totally forgot who you're talking about.
Last fight he fought Dustin Jacoby. And
he
I
won.
mean, this dude he won. He knocked out Devin Clark. This dude just hits like like just so angrily. There's like every punch is ridiculous power. And he's very, very, very fast for light heavyweight.
Okay.
And that's the next matchup for him is Khalil Rountree.
When is that?
That fight is... They just announced it. If I'm not wrong, it's 296. Man. Okay, no, it's December 2nd, 2023. Yeah, so it's a fight night. It says in Minnesota, but I don't think they've announced a Minnesota card.
Oh, it's in Minnesota, eh?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
But yeah, this card is actually, now that I'm looking at it, is pretty ridiculous.
Really?
The header is Jared Cannonier, Roman Dolidze, also one that they announced. I don't understand that booking.
Isn't that strange?
I don't understand that booking because Jared Cannonier last fight put a beating on the guy that Roman just pretty convincingly lost to.
Right.
Like, how does this move? I mean, it benefits Roman for sure.
A lot. Yeah. And he could win because he's really good. He probably was having an off night. Like anybody could win that fight for sure.
It kind of feel for Jared, like if this is the only matchup he could get, it's kind of,
dude.
It's weird.
I like Jared a lot, and it's not because we share the same name. I really do enjoy him. I like his whole energy. I like what he's all about. I don't think his personality does him any favors, though.
Really?
For getting the fights that he wants.
I think his personality is refreshing. He's pretty
for us.
He's a good dude. Yeah.
No, for us though. Like I like him. I'd like him as the champion. I don't think they do. I don't think the UFC wants him.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate because that was a championship level performance.
Right. But
like, I think of all the guys Vettori's fought. Nobody's made him look like that.
I just don't think okay, like Sean Strickland, you give him the belt, he's like, I don't care about this. Like this doesn't this doesn't make me who I am. Like and then he goes about, but he's also very entertaining. I think Jared Cannonier, he's like, he gets the belt, he's like, I don't care about this. This isn't what makes me, but he doesn't have that entertaining factor.
Yeah. I mean, when he fights,
think they want people
very,
for sure.
very entertaining.
But I think they want people to carry that belt like it's like it changes their life. I think that they want that.
I think he would. I think he'd step it up. I think people get to see him a little more. I think he's just been in a very weird spot his entire time in the division. Like he came in and 2 fights into being at middleweight, he's beating Anderson Silva. Mm-hmm. And like, so there's this high pressure on him. He's a very exciting fighter. He hits hard. And then he runs into Rob. You know, Rob was on a warpath at the time. And that didn't really drop his stock. You know, it was a good fight. It was tough, back and forth. I think what really got everyone off the train was the Izzy fight. Because unfortunately, he just, he froze up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like up until that point, there was a lot of hype around Jared Cannonier. And just now it doesn't feel like it's there.
I think so, too. I just believe that, okay, even regardless of the fight not going well with Izzy and being just like, oh, wow, he froze. I think that they're like, I really like him. I like him talking like to people he feels comfortable with and people he feels like good around. But when he gets on like the mic at a press conference, I think he loses a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, you can tell he's uncomfortable with it. Yeah.
For sure. Which for me sucks because I like him a lot. But I think that for the like, the people high up in the company, they're like, oh, well, he's not going to win over the people in the arena. He doesn't connect on a global level. He connects on a personal individual level.
Yeah. But I mean, I get like if that's the reason they're not giving him top matchups, that's pretty unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like if the guy's winning, the guy's winning.
Okay, but what makes sense
like
what makes sense right now besides Roman Dolidze? What makes sense?
Well, yeah, I'm looking now, and it's pretty dry at 85.
Like you don't want him to fight Sean Strickland again right now?
No, which I mean, actually, I do. I think that's the matchup.
You do? You think?
Yeah,
right
I don't know
now,
why they
fight
didn't do
Sean
that.
Strickland.
Yeah, Dricus is hurt. They're not going to give Izzy a rematch. Rob just got, no, was it this year?
Yes.
This year. No, it was 2022.
It was December. You're right.
So it's been by the time they would fight, because I know Sean wants to fight early next year. It's been over a year. And it was a controversial fight. You're not going to put Izzy in there. Dricus, I feel like he lost his shot, at least at the moment.
No, Dricus said he was ready to go, though. He'd be ready by the end of the year. He didn't lose his shot. He's literally the number one contender.
I'd rather see Dricus and Izzy now.
Why? Because of a race war? That's not good.
No,
man.
I think you started something with him. Go finish it. Like, you know.
Yeah, I want that fight too.
Right? Like, why not make that fight?
I really want that fight.
If you give Dricus the shot, might never happen. Who knows what goes on with Izzy and.
Yeah, but dude, honestly, like, here's what I think happens. I think you give Dricus the title shot against Sean. I think Dricus wins, and I think you get Izzy against Dricus for the title.
Come on.
I'm just telling you.
I'm not picking Dricus to beat Sean Strickland. I may be talking crazy because now he's champion and I can say things like this, but
it's just what I think.
Well, who has beat Sean Strickland at 85? Really? Because Jared, I even gave that Sean the fight. Sorry, I even gave that fight to Sean
for sure.
With Jared. So really, if you look at it, the only dude who's ever beat him at middleweight is not in the division anymore. Who's to say that he's not going to just run through everybody? I mean, like, he has a very defensively sound style. He's very comfortable fighting 5 rounds.
Very.
He just out kickboxed who they're saying is the best kickboxer that's ever stepped foot in the UFC.
I just think that Dricus could do to Sean what Alex did to Sean in a different way.
I don't know, because I think Alex was so big was the thing.
Dricus is big. Dricus is way bigger than Sean.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. There's no way.
Muscle-wise, he's definitely bigger.
Muscle-wise, but the muscle wasn't the problem with Alex. It was the reach. And how tall he was and like...
No, but I think Dricus is much stronger than Sean.
But like, why would that be a factor if you can't even touch Sean? Is my point.
Because I don't think that Dricus is
Jared Cannonier was a lot stronger than Sean, but I mean that didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I think Dricus has a different kind of aggression when it comes to his wrestling, his like a judo throw, like to Robert. Like I think it's different. Dude, look what he did to Robert.
I know what he did to Robert, but I still don't see it. I still don't see it.
Well, that's why you got to trust me with what I can and can't see here, Sal. This is my domain.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just talking shit because, I've never been in there. And obviously, beating Robert Whittaker is big. But I feel like that's a favorable matchup for Sean Strickland.
Dude, he's finished everybody and like 4 top-level guys in the last year. I mean, even Darren Till. Come on.
I mean, he finished Brunson, who literally was like supposed to retire. I think his win is Whittaker. Like, that's the real.
Yeah.
He didn't look great in the other fights.
Brad Tavares,
tough guy.
That's a tough guy.
That's a good win. I mean, that's not a huge win though. Like, you know what I mean?
He just finds a way to get it done. That's how I feel.
I guess I'm just being a hater. I guess It's just how I feel.
It's because you're such an Izzy fan. I get it.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at middleweight and I'm seeing Kelvin Gastelum, who they just announced is fighting Sean Brady.
Really?
Sean Brady.
Really?
That's that matchup I never would have ever thought of.
I don't know about that.
Why does Kelvin
get a top guy?
Well, Kelvin is 10 at middleweight. I don't know. I mean, I guess they like Kelvin. They like what he's done.
Dude, is it true? Not to say that I don't care about Kelvin Gastelum, but like, is it true that they made Paul Craig versus Brendan Allen?
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And I might have to go Paul Craig.
Paul Craig's looking pretty. He's looking pretty good at 185.
At 185, he's a big dude. He was he was pretty small at light heavyweight, but he's massive at middleweight. And
I don't know. Brendan Allen's really good, dude.
He's good. I've never been super high on Brendan Allen. I think he's gotten the right matchups, and you know, he's got a good skill set. But anytime he's tried to make that jump, it hasn't really translated.
For sure.
Sean beat his ass, for example. But I do like that matchup. I think that's great matchmaking. Yeah, very interesting division right now. 185.
It's a good one.
Very interesting. Light heavyweight, since we're close to it, we're on topic. Jiri Prochazka versus Alex Poatan Pereira.
Who you got?
I mean, does the fight get any more freaking violent than this?
No, I said the other day, I said that those last two fights on that card might be the best final two fights of a pay-per-view ever.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I mean, to have the baddest men on the planet and then the division right under that. I mean, like,
right. Yeah.
These are two massive fights. Massive fights.
I would
go
oh gosh, I would like Alex to win, John to win, and then them fight each other.
What? Dude, Alex could 100% go to heavyweight.
Dude, wouldn't that be crazy? John versus Alex. Screw Tom Aspinall and all this. Just John versus Alex.
I think John would take that.
It'd be amazing.
I think John would take that.
Just do it at like 220.
But man, I don't know. I can't pick on that fight, Alex and Jiri. I've been trying to think about it. I've been almost putting off thinking about it also. Like I want to sit down and really watch some film and try to like see some openings, but like there's not even like my gut says. Like I just truly don't know with this fight.
I have a gut feeling.
You have gut?
Yes.
Who is it?
I think Alex is going to win.
Okay.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because of how much Jiri gets hit.
That's the thing that like draws me back. And then I'm also thinking like Garry is so unorthodox. Maybe he overloads Alex, and I don't know. Maybe he hits some crazy shit. Like
he could.
The two sides are so strong that it's hard for me to settle on one.
He could definitely hit him with something crazy, but I think that if he leaves himself as open as he did with
Glover,
it's going to be a tough night for Jiri.
Yeah. Or if he grapples, like who knows if he comes out and tries to grapple with Alex.
I don't think you want to grapple with Alex right now.
Yeah, he did look pretty good.
Yeah, I mean his defense is really good. I think he's a really strong guy. I think dude, they might just totally cancel each other out. It might be the most boring fight that's ever happened.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I'm part of me wants to believe that like they're you've got this warrior samurai thing going on. They want to go in and go to battle, but you never know with these fights. We thought Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou was going to be the most powerful fight of all time, and that shit was horrible. So who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
I've got Alex knocking him out.
I like that. Respectable. I think I'd be a little happier if Alex won. As much as a Jiri fan, as much as I am a Jiri fan.
I think I'd be happier with Alex winning too. I don't know why.
I like the I like the Jamal Hill Alex Pereira matchup more than I do Jiri and Jamal.
For sure.
I think that's more enticing with the Glover storyline. Even though that is also there with Jiri, like Jamal beat Glover pretty bad. Like that was,
that was a great fight.
That was pretty bad. So
it was the first time people really gave Jamal respect more than just punching power.
Which is crazy, right? Like it took him winning the belt for people to be like, "Oh, this guy's legit."
Yeah.
That was the fight. They're like, "Oh, okay, I see."
Man, I was so happy for Jamal too. That was an emotional post octagon moment. That was just beautiful. I was really sad when he got hurt.
I can't wait for him to be back with like a crowd that's pulling for him in like the slightest. You know, like he was in Brazil, right. Half the arena was gone by the time they put the belt on him. Yeah. Like I just want him to get a proper camp, proper everything. Like have the real championship experience.
Proper 12.
Proper 12.
Everything proper.
Proper 12 Irish whiskey. That was a horrible impression.
It was horrible. Pretty good. All right, my man. Anything else?
Yeah, we got this event coming up this weekend. If you want to round this off with some picks.
Dude, I thought this weekend was off. This weekend's Grant Dawson? It's the next weekend that's off?
Oh, no, you're correct. Yes.
Okay, this weekend's off. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. So what am I going to do with my life?
Dude, then let's save our picks for the following week.
Let's save our picks and let's just... Yeah, we'll just suffer through this weekend.
Yeah, this was a good recap. Good of the fights coming up that have been made.
Yeah.
Good talking about, coincidences and deja vu. We hit that. We hit a lot of good things here.
Yeah. We also have Contender Series coming up tomorrow. There's still at least some fights this week.
Nice.
That'll be and look out for some content on some Dana White Contender Series stuff. More stuff coming out.
More importantly than that, everybody check out Sal's video of rematches because that is just top-notch content right there.
Thank you.
All jokes aside, I was really, really, really pleased, proud. I love that video.
Appreciate
awesome.
it, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's actually what I've chosen to now fall asleep to is that video.
The 3-minute video is on loop forever.
Yeah.
So the real question is, why?
Well, why? Yeah. All right, my man. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We appreciate all of you and hope you all have a fighting chance.
Oof, I like it.
Later.
Peace.